Yo, what's up? So I am driving. I am driving safely. I have my seatbelt on, and I am looking straight ahead. I am not looking down at the camera like that. So I thought I would give you guys a, I don't know when I'll have time to do it this week in terms of like a writing it out, how I've done in the past, but just a dealer's perspective, a dealer, I won't call it a vlog, but just a response to the National in 2021 in Chicago at the Rosemont Convention Center. My name is Jameel. If you don't know, I own a shop in Gainesville, Florida, and the shop is called the Meelypops Shop. And so if you can't handle the steering wheel here, I'm sorry. That's how this video will go. But I wanted to touch on some points from the National from my side, a dealer side. I think that that's not always shared enough. And I think that people sometimes find that these can be helpful. A lot of learning from these things. As you guys can see, my voice is not here. I've lost my voice, but it is slowly coming back to me. So as it comes back to me, you guys can let me know when you think I don't sound like a chain smoker. Anyway, let's talk about the National. Let's talk about the first off thing is the atmosphere. And I mean, there's nothing to compare it to. I mean, I wish I could say, hey guys, this is what it's like. And some people have said to me that we're at the 90s Nationals, late 80s, early 90s Nationals, that this was comparative to that, but I would disagree. Because where the market is and where we are at with the internet, comping of things, just pricing, value, there's nothing to compare what this atmosphere was like. Additionally, having people educated in the card world that are showing up to this event. I don't know if the final number was around 100,000, but I had heard that that's how many tickets were kind of sold. I mean, that just blows anything out of the water, right? People were so friendly. People were so excited to be there. People were enjoying themselves. I think that some people who had never sold before, who were looking to come and dump a bunch of stuff, realized very quickly that it was not going to be easy to do that. Also, Panini was unable to really have the silver pack and VIP gold pack thing go on, which they always do. So that was kind of a bummer. But with all that said, I think the event was held well. I think people were respectful of one another for the most part. I think people were respectful of booths and what was going on for the most part. And I was just an overall a success. Outstanding success. I don't know how to put it any other way. So the atmosphere was great, man. It was awesome. Every night there was something going on after the National. Many of you, I heard there were impromptu trade nights that sprung up. I heard that there were major deals done after hours, major sales that were done after hours. All those things are so great. The atmosphere, from a standpoint of camaraderie, the networking, the vlogging, the documenting, all of that. It was everything you could wish and more. So I think that's kind of the first thing I want to talk about. There's probably about 4 or 5 different things I wanted to mention, as a dealer perspective. Let me give you guys some numbers and let me give you guys some nitty gritty about what we did and how we were set up. We had two 10x15 what they call booths. Now they no longer are doing the 10x10 booths for Atlantic City, and I'll get to Atlantic City probably at the end of this. But 10x15 booths is what we had. So we had a 10x30 space. And many of you may know, especially my friends and family on Blowout. 2 years ago in Chicago, we had a theft. It was a big issue. Lost a lot of cards. Have a really cool story coming about that very soon. And I'll just give you a sneak peek. But it's partially how I obtained one of the cards that were stolen from that. Back at the same area. It's going to come out on our YouTube channel soon, the Card Shop Show. But I'll leave it at that. It's just such a cool story about the hobby, and I can't wait to share that with you. But that was in the back of my mind. So I want to talk about booth setup, and I want to talk about security and why we did what we did, and watching other booths. So we had that set up, and the back side of our setup, what I did is I brought 3 8-foot tables with us in these giant SUVs that we're driving, and we laid them across the back so we could put up our 20-foot banner sign that we bought. And I bought that for two purposes. One, because I wanted to kind of create a wall. I don't want to, have to worry about what happened in 2019. Maybe a little anal OCD about that. But the truth is, I just didn't want that to be recreated. So what we did is we had this massive Meelypops banner. I had a lot of compliments from it. Fish from Blowout came up to me. Adam came up to me. A lot of people, just saying, hey man, this is a real good presence for you. You really knocked it out the park, and I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful that we had the funds to buy that, because I think it really became a landmark for people. People telling me that they were using it as a place to meet up with people and stuff, which is so cool, and I love that. We had 18 showcases in a U display, and then we had the banner behind us, and I rented a safe. Now the U display is mainly showcase stuff, but we had some deal boxes in the one corner, deal boxes that were being watched constantly by people. Sure, there may have been some theft there. It's almost impossible to know, but it was really cheaper stuff that we wanted to give people deals on. So if you came by and you got some stuff at the deal area, please give us a shout out. Let us know what you found. It was 50% off for the first 3 days, and the last day it was 70% off and 50% off slabs. So it was awesome. We just giving people deals, had fun with that. My father, 1, 2, 3, 4 employees. A good friend named Tim, who's kind of like an employee, but he doesn't really work for us. He's just involved in a lot of things. We manned the booth, my wife and myself as well. And then on the other part of the U, it was kind of our buying area. And what happened, and I think people realize this about the Meelypops team, is that we have a good, efficient, fair, and I believe quick way to set up and buy from people. Now, that's not 100% of the time, because I'm not always there. Brian wasn't always there. But when Brian and I were together, we do most shows together, and we're very quick and very, very cut and dry with people. I don't want to waste people's time. I know that they don't want to waste my time. Well, some people do. But we went through about, I would say, 100 to maybe 150 people each day trying to sell us something through that area. And we bought a lot of stuff. We paid fairly. And there was a lot of stuff that came up that was priced incredibly unfair, and people didn't know their comps. Now I'll get to that part with the selling and buying aspect, but I just want to kind of go over our booth space. Internally in our booth, we had about 8 chairs. We had stuff tucked away underneath, mainly the cardboard box that we brought stuff in, and snacks, and we had a refrigerator that the safe guy hooked us up with. So it was a really cool experience. Had a really good setup, and I think for anybody doing card shows, especially the National, you just got to pony up, maybe split it with some people, and rent a safe. The guys who rent the safes are great. The guy we met, he was super kind, super helpful. I really strongly recommend that, or bring your own safe. The reason why is there's too much stuff that you just, when it comes to money, high-end cards, buys, electronics, that you can lose so easily. Now, I didn't hear much about theft at the show. I know about 2 instances, but nothing like it was 2 years ago in Chicago, which is great news. And I'm thankful for the Rosemont police and the police that worked the event. I did see a video today on Instagram of a guy with an early dealer vendor badge. I don't think he was set up, but stealing jersey cards, and he had a whole backpack full of stuff, and the cops arrested him. And I was like, what an idiot, you know what I mean? Just so dumb. But I'm glad he got caught. I do know of something that many may not know about, and I don't want to push this or say that this was what it was. So I'll just kind of tell you what I was told. But I do know of 1 or 2 corporate booths after hours. These are hours after, so I don't know if somebody hid or what happened or how it happened. But after hours, where items were stolen, and that info comes from a pretty solid source. So that makes me also think even more so about how important it is to not only have a safe, but also that you really can't trust people. And we're in a day and time when theft is apparent. I'm not sure if other people heard that. Maybe you guys can comment down below and let me know. But we'll put this on our YouTube show. We'll put this our card shop show. We'll put this on Instagram. We'll put it on Slap Stocks, Mealy Stocks. But just some more dealer perspective stuff. So our setup was great. We always had about 4 to 7 people in the booth at any time. I think we were pretty quick with our display cases. They were always locked. We always help people at a high-end section with high-end wax, and we had keen eyes on those. I know for a fact that we didn't get anything stolen, so I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful God that none of that happened. But I know that other people may have gone through that, and I'm an open book on that. So if you ever want to talk about it, please feel free to reach out. The traffic in the show was quite intense. At any time, we may have had 20 to 30, and I think at one time I counted 37 people at our booth. And that's a lot. That's a lot with not just eyes, but also, you want people to feel like they could talk to somebody and get an answer on a card, or get a picture, or get an offer on a buy, or whatever it is. I do know we had a buying line throughout the week, a line of people who were waiting to sell to us, or take pictures, or come meet us, which is incredibly humbling. Because I always think of me just attending these events. I don't think that people want to come see us or our team, and it's just very humbling. So I say that to all you guys who did come out and just say hello, took a picture, tagged us, whatever, did a deal with us, sold us something. Thank you from the bottom of my heart, because it just shows how much the family of the hobby really is. All right, so just continuing to kind of consider these things. Let's talk about buying and selling. So I thought buying from my side, I know I'm a dealer and I know that I'm buying more quantity. I thought it was fair for the most part. I didn't think there was any sort of crazy deals. I really didn't see anybody selling out a booth. That's very interesting to me. That's been a thing of the past. Maybe some of you guys know about it, but I didn't see anybody who just said, yeah, take all this for X amount of dollars, which I've done in the past, and I've enjoyed doing that because it's very helpful for the shop. What I did notice is many people coming up to us to sell stuff. And here's three things that I noticed, and you can even talk to Money Bison, Brian, who sat next to me as well. One was people just not knowing what their cards are worth. So when you go to somebody and say, I want to sell this, you don't really want to sell it because you don't know what it's worth. So if you're just asking for a blind offer, what it does is it creates a lot of problems. Like, some of these cards are so rare and so unique, no idea. So I'm trying to find information. I might ask a person, what are the comps? What have you seen sale? Any like sales? And what happens, and this happened probably about 30% of the time, there was no information. So then it takes more time for the dealer to look it up, find info. Now I know some of those people are saving face and playing dumb, but it's just a game, right? And that's not how we operate. So first off, there were a lot of people who didn't know comps. Second, a lot of people had not checked comps, or again, they might have been saving face or lying, but really in the last 2 weeks. And you show them a comp for the last 5 days, 3 days ago, show them a comp that's very fair, to what they're saying their card is worth, and them just not believing it. And I get their market manipulation. I get that there's stuff like that. I get that there are people who manipulate data as well. But for the most part, it just didn't make sense. And I guess maybe I'm not mad about it. I think that might show us today in 2021, where we're at from the consumer base and the education that's required, the amount of people that are still getting into this hobby, which is great. And I think that we have an opportunity from us, people who have been doing this for a while, to educate and teach people that. I talked with some guys, some big dealers, and do a lot online. Their estimates are 500 to 1.5 million new people in the hobby over the past year to 18 months. Think about that for a second. 500,000 to 1.5 million people, new customers that have bought something from these guys' websites or eBay or whatever in the last year. That's incredible, man. That's awesome. I think that's just a unique perspective for where we are, and it's exciting to me as a shop owner and someone who loves the hobby, So as we consider all those things, the third part about the buying that I did notice was the percentages that people wanted on stuff. It never made sense, right? You might say to somebody, hey, I'm not looking for junk slabs. I'm not looking for junk, low end. I don't want to use the word junk, but I'm not looking for low end quantity. And then they would continue to show you that. You'd see them. I also see the same people back with the same stuff 3 days later, 5 to 4 days later. And I didn't understand that side of it either. Maybe they just got overwhelmed with who they were showing their cards to. But us dealers do remember where this stuff comes from, right? So just a little, I guess advice in that is, knowing your comps, knowing what your card's worth, and having some idea what you want for something goes a long way with a dealer versus them trying to figure it out, them giving you a realistic offer, then maybe you're getting insulted or whatever. So I'm telling you that. It helps a lot. It saves everybody time and makes the experience much more enjoyable. The content of what I was seeing really makes you become desensitized to how rare stuff is. There were so many people that had so many great cases, so many great items. But I'm going to make a statement here, and I don't want you guys to get offended. But a PSA 10 Luka Doncic silver is not that rare or special of a card anymore. An Acuna PSA 10 Topps update, PSA 10 bat down, not that rare anymore. I'm saying this to you guys because I feel like I saw so many of those cards, and I as a card shop owner, you only see so much of that. But then you realize how many Kobe autographs there really are, how many LeBron autographs there really are. How many cards are signed by so many people in so many ways. Here's another one. How many parallels there are that are low numbered and look like they're worth a ton of money, but really they're not. Select Basketball just came out, 135 parallels for every single card, 35 one-of-ones for every player. Black Ice Pulsar Mamba, what is that, right? So I guess what I'm sharing in that element is the things that we once thought were rare and were once maybe super sought after are not so as much, and there's so many different parallels to that when you're going to sell that stuff or trade that stuff, remember, it may be incredibly rare to you, but that may not be the case with many dealers. They may have seen that or some iteration of it so many times. Hopefully that makes sense. I'm not trying to make anybody feel like their cards aren't worthy. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm trying to explain the variance and the lack of there's not the lack of variance, the too much variance within the same kind of card across the market. Panini, Topps, Upper Deck, Leaf, everything, right? All right, so let's get to another point, which I think is important. Excuse me, let me take a sip of water really quick. And that is the buying side. So my side of things, what I notice, and I think this is probably one of the most, maybe a lot of people will want to hear this because of they do shows and stuff like that. The National this year, I think we were priced well on stuff, but our high-end stuff that was really rare, we had a price, we asked people to give offers, yada, yada. I found that the best stuff that was selling were cards that were between that $400 range for our booth and that like $2,000 range. Did we sell cards that were over that? Absolutely. Did we sell cards underneath that? Absolutely. Did we bring a lot of cards under $200? Not a lot, but we had boxes of it. We sold some of that. I think when people come to the National, they're looking for those cards that there's a massive potential in the next upcoming season, or if they hold them for some time where they can make a lot of money. So a $500 to an $800 to a $1,500 to a $2,000 card. Maybe you come with $10,000 to the National and you buy 10 or 15 of those types of cards, hopeful of those goals leaving. I think that single market, that's what I was seeing the most of. If you have high end, what I'm noticing is that everybody wants to, here's what I noticed. Everybody wants the high end. They want to pay you about half of what you want for it and then give you the other half in trade, but they only want to show you some cards that they want to offer to it. And the side of it for me is I don't want those cards for the rare item that I have. I just want to sell that card. So if I'm being, in a sense, force-fed cards to take and trade or cards I don't really want, I'm going to value my card higher and value your cards lower because now it creates more work for me to make the money as compared to selling it. I hope you understand that. That's not a knock to anybody, but think of it this way. I have all my stuff out. I have all my best stuff out. I have everything that you could see, and yet you have a box and you're only showing me 4 cards that I have to take for one of my best cards. That happened about 500 times this weekend. And so I'm pretty hard on that because I don't want to take trade in on something that I know is very valuable. Now, if I needed money or whatever on the card and I wanted to move it, yeah, I'd be more willing, and that's okay to ask. But please understand that side, my friends, is when you say, here, I'll trade you this, and this, and give you X amount of dollars for that, and I don't want this, or that, it's going to be a really hard deal to do. And I don't think a lot of people got that. I mean, I'm just being honest. I share with a lot of people that, and I said, if you're making me take $1,000 and trade on this $3,000 card, I'm going to value my card at $3,000. I'm going to take that $1,000 at what I would pay for it, which might be, if I don't want it, maybe 65% if I don't want it, 55% value. If I wanted the cards, maybe I'll be 75 or 80 or 85%, whatever. But it's a money element, right? It's a value assessment. So that whole world of trading at the National is very time consuming. I had multiple people come with me. I trusted them on their comps. They came, knocked me down on my stuff. And then when I researched their stuff, it went from a $20,000 card to the last sale being $11,000 or $8,000 or whatever. So it doesn't work that way, guys, when you're dealing with people who know the market. We love you guys. We love the hobby. The hobby is what it is, but just be fair. I think that's the key I'm trying to share with you guys. Hopefully that speaks a little bit to my perspective on that end. A couple things about the dealer badges, and I'll talk about grading, and I'll probably wrap this up because I know I'm long-winded. It's already at 20 minutes. If you can, get a dealer badge from a friend. Try and help him in the booth because you'll have access on Tuesday. Tuesday, I did, I'll just give numbers. I sold, I want to say it was like $29,000 in sales. I bought about $15,000 in cards on a day that was supposed to be only for just setting up, right? I actually didn't leave my booth that day to go buy much. It was just stuff that walked up and stuff that I sold. Tuesday is a key day, guys. It's the early setup day. If you can help a friend set up and get an early setup, do it. If you're a dealer who's thinking about coming to the show, don't come on Wednesday and set up. It's such a bad move. Do it on Tuesday, have Wednesday and be ready. Tuesday was a busy day. Everybody's trying to get in and out. Wednesday got crazy. Wednesday night for those 4 hours with the VIP, incredibly nuts. Thursday, I thought was the busiest from the selling, buying side. Friday was busy, but in spurts. And then Saturday was chaos. And then Sunday was pleasantly busy. And I even sold cards. I sold $15,000 or $18,000 in cards in the last hour there. It was pretty cool. So I'm sharing that stuff with you guys. Not in the last hour, in the last 15 minutes, right before we're trying to pack up. I'm sharing that with you guys to kind of understand how it went through the week. Could that change? Yeah, it could change every year. But I think it's starting to follow suit where Wednesday is a 4-hour just craziness. Thursday becomes the first full day. Friday, people are drained. Saturday, everybody flies in for the weekend. And then Sunday, you have the Saturday-Sunday crowd. So it is what it is. Trade night was awesome with Card Collector 2 and Jimmy, Kentucky basketball cards. On Thursday, it was really packed. I did some deals in there, but I felt like it was too much. I think for someone who went there for the first time, and if they were any shy in any way, that would have been hard to do anything at. But it was definitely a lot of fun. You met a lot of people, saw a lot of people, saw a lot of cool stuff. I bet you there was a lot of theft at that event because I was watching how tables operated. People were putting all their cards out. I just think there was probably a lot of theft at that, and people didn't really think about how they wanted to operate at trade night. I went to a Panini Directs thing on Wednesday night, which was really cool. We had two of our guys also in our booth, Tim and Brian. We got invited to a Whatnot celebration at Wrigley Field. Tim, it's funny, he's a Cubs fan. He went and got to see Chris Bryant's last strikeout at Wrigley, his last at bat be a strikeout looking. And of course, Tim's very negative about the Cubs right now. So, and I'm a Cardinals fan, so I love it. But no, they went to Wrigley, had a really cool experience. The Whatnot people were really great. They do a lot of cool stuff there. Friday, I had a party with Southern, and I also had Southern Hobby, a distributor, and I also had an opportunity to go spend some time with Aaron at Slapstocks charity night. Really cool, really awesome what they did for the Camp Kesem kids. I think overwhelming support in that. That was so unique. And then Saturday, what we did is we took a step back, took our team out to Gibson's, had a really nice dinner, kind of relaxing a little bit, taking a step back. If Panini had their VIP party, it'd be a little different. I don't know how Saturday would have run. And then Sunday is really exhausting. We left at 7:30 from the building, and we got somewhere at 2 a.m. and crashed and and now I'm on the road right now. So that's kind of the lifestyle, the schedule of the itinerary, in that. And the last thing I'll talk about is grading and maybe the setup of the venue, so you guys can kind of hear my thoughts on it. And that'll be my dealer review for 2021. If you guys want me to do a part 2 or you have some follow-up questions, I'll try my best to get to that and get to you guys. For those of you who've been listening the whole time, I do body bag everything at night. We take our high-end cards as well away or put them in the safe. I was just thinking about that from a security standpoint. I saw many people who didn't have body bags. If you don't have a body bag, go to 305 Sports Cards or go find one. You buy it, you zip it up, you lock it. It's a very huge detriment to theft. Okay, so grading, what I heard for the most part was that grading was incredibly crazy. Thursday, PSA said, we're not taking any more of the Express. We already hit 80% capacity for the week. The final 20% was for dealers. I was lucky I had an ability to work with some group submitters and get some stuff submitted throughout the week. But PSA were slammed as expected. Beckett also slammed. I did some RCRs with them. Worked with Sappy Sports Cards on that. Got some stuff back. I had heard that the grading, just from perspective, was that PSA was very strong or was very lenient, and Beckett was very hard. I don't know if there's any truth to that. I'd love to hear what you guys think about in the comments. I don't want to talk about SGC or HGA or CSG just because I don't really do a lot with them. Mike Baker, I don't really do a lot with that stuff. But again, they were present, and you guys can let me know how your experiences were with that. I want to hear about that. I think we're at a point with grading where I'm going to say this, and I think it's important. You can pay for quicker services, and they'll be cheaper from different companies. But I do know from the buying and the secondary market side, they are not sought after. And I'm not going to name names because I don't want to do that. But I know PSA is on a hiatus. I just wonder if it makes more sense for a lot of people on the blue chip cards or the cards that are never really going to fluctuate much to just hold them. I'm seeing a lot of cards in gradings, in grading slabs, and I look at it and I look at the value and I look at how nobody really wants them when they buy it. It just seems like it's a pain in the butt, guys. I don't want to knock graders and say don't grade with them because they do great work, but I just don't know. I'm seeing more and more of these slabs where people are paying 30, 50, 100 bucks to get stuff slabbed, and the card's getting, an 8 or an 8.5 in these grading slabs. And I just think to myself, like you just lost a ton of money. Like you didn't gain anything, Maybe you like it because it's slabbed. That's cool. And I'm props to you for that if you just want it slabbed. But if you're going from the market side to resell, really think about what you're doing with grading. Brian and I talked about that the whole week, how we're seeing just so many cards in these slabs with such bad grades. And I don't know why people are doing that. So please do your research on grading. All right, lastly, here we go. We'll close it up. The venue was unique. The very front was the people who are grandfathered in for 20, 30, 40 years. I think when you first walk in, you see a lot of old, kind of stale vintage, and you see golden, and you'll see the people who paid gazillion dollars to be at the front. Then as you walk to the back left, the back middle, the front middle, you're seeing vendors that are really fair, cool, modern, vintage, whatever, memorabilia. Corporate was in the middle. Corporate was just packed all the way around. If you tried to cut up through corporate, specifically in between Blowout or Steel City or any of those places, you were rubbing elbows with everybody. Where we were at in the back, by the concessions, we had an open area, so I felt our presence was really good. I was next to my buddies, Indie Card Exchange, RBI Crew, Sports Card Junction, Costa Cards, Brothers in Cards, and I think there are a lot of branding right there, a lot of people that know those people, so there were a lot of people back there that everybody knew, which was really beautiful. Kind of cycled around, which is really cool. A lot of card shops back there, which is also really cool. Jimmy was also very close, Kentucky Basketball Cards. Ryan was very close, card collector too. So it was really cool to kind of see all that and how close everybody was, helped each other out. As you got to the right side on the red carpet, on the far right, what I noticed there was those were probably where you got the best deals. I feel like those were people that were not as established, but no knock on those people. It's just that there was more freedom, and you saw kind of a range in cards, not the uber high-end stuff. I thought that was a cool area. I made a lot of deals over in that area as well. Shout out to all those folks in the red carpet on the far right. I know you guys were in the corner there, but I think you did well. And then, you know, you had the autograph pavilion, which for me, I had never gone to. I had to meet with Ric Flair as part of his Collectors Con thing. I think it's people can see that I'm trying to utilize some things to get him involved, and other people that I can't really announce yet. So I had a meeting with him to see if he could make it. But I went over there to Autograph Pavilion, and the Autograph Pavilion was just, to me, madness. I'd never been there over there before in my 5-6 years of doing the National, and it was just madness, man. Absolute madness. How it was all set up, I don't know how you guys do it, you graphers with memorabilia, but you did it. And I do know that Ric Flair signed for 4 hours that Saturday, which was awesome. That guy's a beast. Looked really unique. I think Emmett and Barry were there. They were charging quite a bit of money, but at least you guys, you know, you got your stuff signed, which is cool. I don't really have a lot of thoughts on the Autograph Pavilion. It is kind of what it is. It was crazy. I'd never been over there before when I was busy. So that'll wrap it up, my thoughts. Hopefully I gave you guys some insight. If you guys want a part 2 or you want some questions answered, please let me know. I'm driving here. I'm trying to be safe, just looking straight, not looking down at the camera, as I said before. But if you want to follow us, we're on Instagram, Shop Meelypops. TikTok is Meelypops. YouTube is the Card Shop Show. We did our first 2 vlogs, day 1 and then day 2 and kind of 3. Those are up for the National. We're working on the Friday, Saturday, Sunday vlog, which is more of not a vlog, but just a kind of a show. You guys will really like that one. Please check that out. That's going to be really cool. Hopefully we get it done by like Wednesday or Thursday this week. My film guys are working very hard as their full-time jobs they went back to. But we'll have that out soon. And like I said earlier, on the Card Shop Show, YouTube, and other platforms, we have a really cool story about how I obtained one of the cards that I had gotten stolen from me 2 years ago. I think it really shows light on the hobby and how cool it is. And then just lastly, we're also on Twitter. I think we're Shop Meelypops on Twitter. And of course, Facebook, the Meelypops Shop. Meelypops.com. You can get your wax. Break with us Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Sunday night. And everybody on our team, myself, Meredith, my father, Playa Tim, Money Bison, Goose, Paul, Joey, Boca Bill, Robert Sanders, probably missing some people, I'm sorry. But we all just want to say thank you guys so much for making this a tremendous success for us. Thank you so much for really just being there, supporting the Meelypops kind of movement. I met so many of you from Meelypops Madness, which is one of our sales that we do on Instagram, and we moved some to TikTok. We'll have another one of those in 2 weeks. Meelypops Madness was crazy. And everybody has said to me how enjoyable that experience is, to buy cards in a safe environment, have fun, get deals, you know, be sniped or snipe somebody else. Just the wildness that is Meelypops Madness. Met so many of you from that. Had a lot of you talking about the Card Shop Show and how you appreciate what we're doing on YouTube. Please subscribe to that channel and tell other people. And then lastly, many of you talking about Slapstocks vlog or podcast that we do called Mealy Stocks. All right, guys, I think I'm going to call it. This has been a long bit of information, but thank you guys. The Chicago National is awesome. We will see you in Atlantic City. It is sold out. It was wild getting our booth for that event, but I'm looking forward to the Atlantic City National in 1 year, and I'll see all of you there. Can't wait for you guys to get there. All righty, God bless. Meelypops out.